Hello and welcome to the Teacher Explanation video. In today's program, we are going to talk about how to improve our writing and some tips for you to improve your English skills. The first thing that we have to consider is the type of writing we have to do. If it's informal, writing to a friend or a person you have a close relationship, or formal, one like business writing, formal letters, and academic writing. For academic writings, you aren't advised. You use contractions such as didn't, don't, can't. Avoid there is or are. One of the reasons to do so is when we want to write our ideas clear and concise, meaning we don't want these long sentences. We want our sentences to be to the point. For instance, there are many issues that students face at university. Students face many issues at university. Another tip is to avoid words such as really, very, a lot, and so, because this weakness you're writing. For example, many students think university is very hard. Many students think university is difficult. Our fourth tip is to use strong verbs. Weak verb, we have assistance to my friend. Strong verb, we assisted my friend. On the other hand, academic writings also have a structure. For example, the essay has three main parts. The first one is introduction. You are expected to write general statements and information about the topic. You also need to include the thesis statement and the main ideas of the essay. To write an introduction, there are three ways that you can use to write yours. The first one is rhetorical questions are usually used to speak directly to the reader. For example, should the government be responsible for providing care for elderly people? Should the government or family pay for the care of elderly people? Once you have stated your question, you can follow with the context. For instance, these questions generates a lot of debate because the second one is the while introduction. In this structure, you need to include these parts. A. Context sentence, present simple. Example, the care of elderly people is expensive. Therefore, we can debate about who should pay for it. B. While sentence for contrast. Example, while some people think that the government should pay, others think the family should pay. C. Statement of opinion. In my opinion, the government should pay us. The last way to write an introduction is by sharing your experience or contrasting cultures. You can include these keywords to do so. A. Context sentence about your culture. B. However, contrast sentence. C. Statement of opinion. For example, A. In Colombia, the family is responsible for the care of their elderly parents. Therefore, they must pay for their care. B. However, in Britain, the situation is different perhaps because family life is different. C. In my opinion. Number 2. Body paragraphs. You are suggested to support the main ideas of this statement. 3. Conclusion. Don't forget to write a brief summary of the main points of the essay. Another important skill to write is paraphrasing because it can be used in any type of writing papers such as a paragraph. Look at the question. Education is the single most important factor in development of a country. To what extent do you agree or disagree? If we want to use an author's ideas, we can use these strategies. Vocabulary and synonyms. Examples: education, schooling, important, significant, development, advancement, evolution, country, nation. Change the structure, order of a sentence. Example: education is the single most important factor in development of a country. The most essential element of a nation's development is education. In this case, we change the word order and we included some synonyms. Use concessions. It means that you say what opposite opinion is and then you give your own opinion. For instance, although many people argue that the economy is the most important factor in the nation building, I think education has a far greater impact. Now, I'll talk about some tips for you to achieve better results in your English tests. They can be the university ones or the international ones. To pass an English test, you need to make sure you know what to do. I mean, you should always start by reading the instructions first. In the reading section, you are advised to read each question first and then look at the text. Then read the text to find the answer you need. Usually, the question order is similar to the text order, so the answer to question 1 will be close to the beginning of the text, and the last question will be near the end. In the listening section, don't try to remember the meaning of a word you have heard because then you will miss the rest of the recording. What you can do is to look at the questions and then write a few keywords while you are listening. This can help you remember what you have just heard when you answer the questions. The most useful advice for the speaking section is to breathe deeply and relax. In this way, you will be able to speak clearly and calmly. You have to talk for a few minutes, so you should not finish too quickly. Don't rush. Talk about what you are confident saying. If you don't know the words, you can describe it in a different way. That's all for now. Please download the Grammar Bank file. You will find examples, explanations, and exceptions that can help you understand these topics better. I'll see you next time.